everything that you need to know about portfolios, the little details, the big details, everything in between that you should know before you start your portfolio, while you're doing your portfolio, and after you graduate, is a whole compendium of stuff related to the portfolios. Okay. So this is me, what I do. I'm a freelancer. I teach at the FAU Miami and School program. I am the president of One Club Miami, and I founded Portfolio Maven, which is like my little enterprise related for portfolios, because I have been doing portfolios since 2011. That was not my first one, but I was one of the first ones that I did. I realized that students really need portfolio reviews because education is besides the classroom. You need to go and expand your work and see other people's opinion. And that's pretty much what is a good and rounded education. Hear everyone and just take in whatever makes sense to you. This one was back when Behance was not owned by Adobe. We were doing all the Behance portfolio reviews twice a year. So it was like fun. Behance still is fun. Some familiar faces that you'll see today in here, they have been with me in this road since 2011. So you can, so that you know more about it. So that's what I created Portfolio Maven, because after the portfolio review, everything is kind of like lost. So in here, I kind of like have the tips, have like creative brief that you can use to grow up your portfolio, and everything in between, as I say before. So let's get to the point about portfolios, because this is not about me, definitely. So what really is a portfolio? So people tell you, hey, you just like take all your work and you put it in there. But what really is a portfolio? It's more than just like taking your work samples and just put it into a website. It actually is part of your brand. It shows your personality, your work ethic, everything that you believe, the type of person you are. This is what a portfolio is. Yes, you show your skills, but it's all, you also show who you are, because companies are not going to be hiring your portfolio. They're going to be hiring you. So it's really important that you have this idea that the portfolio is not the work that you have done. That is more than that. Who needs a portfolio? These days, everybody pretty much needs a portfolio. So we have designers, art directors, creative directors, executive creative directors, everybody that has like, that is in the creative field will need a portfolio. The portfolios, they're like totally different. Depends of your expertise, it depends your career path. You're gonna focus on more things other than others, but pretty much it's a nice way to sort of have everything in there. People can see your work and they can contact you for more work, and you can grow your network. Everything in between is like you on the internet. You don't have like hours, you don't have anything. Everybody can just like check everything that you have done. You keep it updated, and it's kind of like having a nice conversation. It's when you're going back to a good book that you have. So you have to include in your portfolio. You have to select different samples that shows your skills. If your portfolio is about branding, can you have illustrations? Yes, you could, but it should be more about whatever you would like to be doing in the future. So you show different skills related with branding, if that's what you want. If your portfolio is about social media, you should be showing that you not only know how to do social media, but you know how to do a little bit of design, a little bit of this and that, but everything related with whatever you have to be doing, and the best examples, of course. Some portfolios have like 20, 30 campaigns. That's a little too much. It is overwhelming for the people that whoever is like reviewing your portfolio. And it's like really, really important that you curate it. That's the key word. You curate your portfolio to the best of the best. It can be 2-3 campaigns, 6-10 pieces, always a passion project. And in total, no more than 10 pieces, because nobody's gonna kind of like look at your portfolio, your 30 pieces, only your mom, dad, and your grandparents. That's it. The reviewers, the employers, like they are not gonna kind of like take a look at this. So it's gonna be there just making noise for you. Display only your best work, no fillers, like at all. If it is not good, don't put it in there. It's better to have like 3 good, excellent projects than to be having 10 mediocre projects or like more or less, I didn't have anything else, so let me just put it in there. No, just be diligent, work on your campaigns and make them strong. Always write a little brief. Why? Because what is important is the challenge. It might look pretty, it might look amazing, but if you didn't solve the challenge, it's not a point. So it's really important that you have a brief. Brief means like a couple of lines. It doesn't mean like take your creative brief and put it in there. No, it's just like this is the challenge and this is how I solve. And make it yours. It's about you, is your portfolio. It should be showing your personality, if you're fun, if you're strict, whatever it is that you want to show in your portfolio. So what is the big? Pretty much, students always keep copies of your project, especially those team projects that your teammates disappear after the semester is over. Yes, always keep a copy of it because you might not get it again. If you are an intern, if you are already working on the field, if you're freelancing, always check with your employer if you need some kind of like a permission to display your work publicly. If you sign an NDA, be sure that you're not on breach, because if you're on breach, you might get sued. Always keep in mind that there is some technicalities on who owns the work. If you're working for someone, you need to have their permission to post that in your portfolio. There are 3 types of portfolio: print portfolios, portfolio showcases, and digital portfolios. I'm gonna present these 3 to you, but print portfolios, they were the most trendy things like probably 10 years ago. They're not anymore. They have specific usage these days. Portfolio showcases, they actually help you to move from project to another, and they're excellent to show teamwork. And digital portfolios is your own portfolio. Let's talk about each one. So print portfolios, you have a fixed book, which is something that you just send to a place like Blur. You send all the files, and what you get in return is just a book. No headaches, no binding, no nothing. So you can, the advantage is that you can see your progress if you print several books. As I say, no headaches, no binding. And once you click, you just get your book. There is no headache at all. It's costly because it's printing. Every time you print something, it is costing you money. And there is a new version, it's going to be costing you like money and money and money. You have to be using the available size that they have. So pretty much standard size. If you want something that is non-standard, get ready to pay, and to pay a lot. You cannot make changes once it's done. So once it's done, if you have a typo, that's it. There's no going back. Another way to have a printed portfolio is to bind the book. This is way more flexible because it has 2 components: the cover, which you can order online, and the pages. So you can pretty much customize your cover, and then the pages you can print it and change it at your own pace. The leading company in that is like Pina Zangaro, which has like a lot of like different materials. You can do laser, you can do whatever you can imagine, you can do. They even have bamboo, just imagine. They have leather, they have clothes, whatever you can think about, they do have it. As you see, so it's like a cover, and the pages, you can put them inside. You can print it at home, or you can buy sleeve and you can put it inside. So it's really nice. You can customize everything. You can have your logo, you can just make it your own, even when it's like something that is mass produced. You can add and delete pages anytime. It is still costly, so that's one of the cons. The cover is extremely expensive. It's around $100, more or less. You will take it, depending on your customization. And then the paper that you have to be using, it has to be high quality non-glare sleeve or pre-punch, which they tend to be a little expensive because they come already with the little holes and all together. If you're printing outside, so you can put it in sleeve, you can just print in the paper that they have. You don't have a choice on that. That's the reason what is not expected to have a print portfolio anymore. So the print portfolio, it is a nice piece to have it as a conversation piece. So you can have it, you can just leave it behind or use it as a marketing promotion tool. but you are not expected to have to bring to the table a print portfolio. It's just keep it in mind because some art directors and creative directors, some people just love the idea of having a book and just like passing the pages. So you can print something and just send it to them. That makes like a really nice impression. But again, you have to balance whatever is your purpose with this print portfolio. Portfolio showcases, what are those? This is when you have something like Behance that everybody kind of like posts their work in there, and you can see what everybody's doing, and you can just like check it out their stuff. And they have even became more like a social network. They even have postings, they have different tutorials, they have becoming like a new social network for work. The Behance is actually the leading platform for that. Why? Because it's part of the Adobe family. The main thing is like it is a free platform. If you even if you don't have it, you don't own the Adobe Cloud, you can still access that for free. You can follow each other, and it's excellent when you have like projects and different people post their projects, and you can cross link. So you're kind of like guaranteeing that whoever is like watching that project is gonna jump into other portfolios. So it's really nice. It's actually the place where like job seekers and hiring agents just go to hire people, and creative go just for inspiration. This is how the platform pretty much looks in case you haven't. So you post the type, the software that you use. So it's kind of like really nice, clean, and look, and it's like really intuitive too. Another platform that you can use is Carbonate. It's home of almost 1 million portfolios. You can customize your website. The only problem for some people is that it is not free. So it's from $8 to $18 per month. It includes, again, your URL, and it also includes hosting. So you have to balance what you want to do. If you want it for free, if you want to pay, what do you want with your portfolios? But it's an excellent platform too. It's a little more flexible than Behance. Lastly, you have CoreFlow, is another free service. So you can post your work and find talent, get inspiration, and it also gives you a unique URL for your work. It's moving towards more a job kind of like board than just like what it was at the beginning, but still there's a lot of like portfolios in there, and people go in there to kind of like check job offers, what people are doing, seek the competition. So it's a personal preference, which one do you want to use. The process, your work will be widely visible in the creative community. You can see what others are doing and differentiate yourself from the competition. If everybody's like doing blue, why you want to be doing blue? Go orange, go red, do something else. The co-owned projects, they experience like way more traffic because people tend to jump from one kind of like attendee to another, and it's easier for you to kind of like be visible. The cons is like because there are like so many people in there, you might get lost. It's a sea of creative in there, and your projects might be not as visible. It is an additional expense, like if you're going to be using something like CarFlow, and it's another platform that you have to keep updated all the time. They're extremely easy to use, all of them. And it's actually, as I say, the best way to showcase like team projects. And once your project is up, there is no extra work. You just have to kind of like keep it in there, update it from time to time with new work, and that's it. Lastly, the last kind of like set up of portfolios are like the digital portfolios, which are like the trend right now. So you can have your own website. That's what it's all about, having your own website. So we have like the main platforms for that are Wix, Squarespace, Adobe Portfolio, and WordPress. Depend on wherever you want to go is the choices that you might have. Adobe Portfolio, the beauty of that is like if you're already paying for the Adobe subscription, it's free. So you don't have to get an extra payment for the Adobe Portfolio. The beauty of it is like you can use your own domain. So you buy your own domain on GoDaddy or any other platform, and you can just bring it in here. It's going to show like www.janedot.com, but it's going to be hosted by Adobe Portfolio. It's super easy to use, but the issue that most people have is like it's not really uh, it's really not open to many layouts. It has a really limited amount of like themes. So sometimes people get like really tired of like the same theme, the same layout on all the portfolios. And you can tell who has a portfolio in Adobe Portfolio. The next one is Wix. When they started, they were using Flash, but not anymore. They kind of like, they move with the times. And these days they have optimized everything, and you can have your portfolio pretty much visible in mobile and desktop. That was a big issue a couple years ago. It has way more features than the Adobe Portfolio, way more flexible. It allows your own code. So it's more way to customize your portfolio. The downside, 14 to 39 per month, depend on whatever you're going to be kind of like using the different plans, but it is costly. But it includes like the hosting of your portfolio. Squarespace, which is like the Mercedes-Benz of like this kind of like software. It is beautifully designed. It's specially designed for portfolios. It just takes a little time to get used to the platform. It has a lot of sophisticated high-end teams, and their whole goal is like they strive for perfection. That's their ultimate goal. It's also paid, so 12 to 40 per month. So you have to pick your battles. You cannot have your portfolio in all of them. WordPress is the most complex one. If you know, if you're ready to like roll your sleeve and just deep dive, is your best bet when your site is going to grow in the future. It actually powers a third of the websites live today in the whole world. It's an extremely powerful management system, and it has an impressive amount of like themes and extras, all the features, extension. It's like a monster. You can actually use a little or a lot. It's up to you, but it's more complicated than the other two. The other two is just like you start like putting on their layouts, and that's it. This one might get a little more complicated and takes more time. Different samples of the different stuff that you can do, different websites. So all these have been created in one of these platforms, which is like amazing. You can just like do your own design, and they don't look exactly the same. They have their own spin. So don't think that because you're hosting in there, all the portfolios are going to look exactly the same. The process, you can customize it to your own needs. You can redesign, add, delete content, whatever you want. You can publish like right away, and you will always have like a presence online. The cost is you need to pay for a domain and a hosting service, depend of like whatever you're using. Remember, if you're paying for the Adobe, you don't need to pay for the hosting. If you're paying for Wix and Squarespace, you have the hosting included. So you have to figure out that. The hosting companies' interfaces are not too user-friendly sometimes. Customization might require an expert. If you want to do like an extremely customized website, you will need a coder to do that for you. So it is expected for you to have a portfolio online. This is not like the printed portfolio anymore. So you are expected to have a portfolio online if you want a job in this creative industry. For a portfolio, always keep in mind that there are two parts. One is like the site design, and the other one is the content. Your site design, when you put it in Wix, in Adobe, it might look great as from the design point of view, but if the content is not great, you're not going anywhere. So keep that in mind. A good portfolio won't counterbalance bad content. So if you have campaigns that need work on them. So you can actually have them and have a good design on the site and good projects in your site too. Always have your domain, even when you can use the Adobe portfolio interface. Always buy your domain. GoDaddy is not expensive. You can have it for cheap. It can run between $2 to $20 per year. So it's up, depend on the extension that you're using. But you can find a lot of like coupons on GoDaddy. So that's not a big deal. And that can always have your name or your marketing name, whatever you prefer. Shifting platforms is time consuming and costly. So you have to pick your platform before you start designing your portfolio. Because if you get tied up Adobe portfolio and you're moving into another platform, you have to rebuild your website again. So you have to keep that in mind. Domains and hosts are ongoing expenses. So once you have a website, you have to keep paying yearly, monthly, depending on whatever subscription you're having and whatever path you're going, but you have to be paying for that. You have to use your digital portfolio, not just to be kind of like in there online. Use it as a call of action. What do you want for your website? You want to grow your network. You want jobs. What do you want? So be clear that you have that in your portfolio so people know what are you looking for and they can connect with you. So there is more about portfolios, which is you have to be ready. You focus on your portfolio and the kind of work that you want to pursue. Maybe you don't have great work right now. Maybe your projects as a student or your internship, they were not that great. It doesn't matter. Build your own campaigns, do your own work, be diligent on that. But you have to focus on the kind of work that you want to pursue. You don't want to be stuck in the past because you don't have these opportunities. So you have to create your own opportunities. Be ready to create that for you. If you're interested on branding, just take a branding campaign, do a branding campaign and post it. That even what you're doing right now is graphic design and no branding. Or if you're doing social media, not branding, just be ready to jump on that and focus on your career dream. Don't be a jack of all trades. Why? Because nobody's want that. In small companies, you might want to kind of like jump into different roles, but still you need to specialize on something. You need to be aware of everything that is around you and how to do everything around you, but just specialize in something. Learn the skills that you will need for the job. Don't go crazy and take every certificate that is available on the planet. Now, even more that you are like staying at home with all this COVID-19, just learn the skills that are going to be kind of like really needed for the job that you want. See the first one, focus on the kind of work you want to pursue, learn the skills that you need for that job. One trick that I tell my students, like go and look for positions. See if that position is your dream job and learn what they're asking. Then go back and try to learn the skills that you need for that job. So that way you have a clear path to whatever is your dream job. Always, always, always include a passion project. Why? Passion projects show how creative you are, how you love to be doing something else besides like the creative brief, how you love to be kind of like exercising your free will. So it's always like nice to have a passion project, a hobby, whatever you want to call, but always is nice to have it. And the last thing is like win awards. Winning awards help you with like more money when you're like applying, like differentiating yourself. It's always nice to win awards. They're there for a reason. Always remember that the portfolio is about you and it is a first impression. So when people enter into your website, it's like you're meeting the person like the first time. Hi, nice to meet you. It's pretty much that. It's your branding when you are not in there. Include a great shot that captures you. Like if you have a friend that can take a nice picture, these days, or most electronic devices, they have excellent cameras and you can take that. You might not be an expert, but you can just manipulate it. You can just make it with one color, two color. You can add background. So you make it yourself and make sure that it's capturing who you are. If you are someone that's like really happy all the time, just make sure that this is about you. And of course, if you always have to include something about you. Otherwise, like they don't know who you are. And remember, they are hiding you, not your portfolio. So it's a whole combination. You have to tell something about you that's actually engaging the viewer of your portfolio. If you tell your story, people are going to be relating to you always, all the time. Keep in mind that size matters. So if you're building a website, make sure that it's accessible on a mobile device, whatever it is. Make sure that you optimize all images. Why? Because sometimes it's spinning, spinning, spinning. And why? Because it's a couple of gigs. You didn't optimize the video. You did have like, I don't know, 30 megabytes image. It's not how it's supposed to be. You have to optimize that. allow users to zoom in and out of your pieces so they can have the freedom to learn more if they want. Uh, Broaden your network. You never know where your next gig is coming. So that's why if someone contact you, or if you attend events like the events that we're doing at the One Club Miami, AAF, FIU, there's a bunch of events like going around online, in person, just attend. You are gonna kind of like broaden your network. You never know when is your next gig coming and from where. Be patient, like really patient, and work like really hard, because that's the only way to grow you as a person and to grow your portfolio. So it's about like hard work and just being patient and working again. In your portfolio, always show a variety of visual styles, consumers, and markets. Don't make your portfolio one big thing, one industry only. If you want to kind of like have your portfolio about the tourism industry, that's going to be a little boring because everything's going to look pretty much like the same. So try to have a variety in your portfolio. If you are going for art direction, then try to have variety of styles. So you have, not everything looks like clean and modern. So you have something that's more crunchy, more handmade, have a variety of all the styles. Always use infographics or visual representations. They help the viewer understand what's going on, and you don't have to explain. So it's easier that way. Do not display data in the way that you get the data. Just like take like little highlights and use that for your portfolio. Don't give me a whole uh, inside of everything in there. Just like a little bit of little pieces here and there that's going to help the viewer understand what's going on. And always favor originals instead of stock photos. Sometimes when you have like an ad and someone else have the same ad, they're using the same picture. That's why always create your own pictures, take your own pictures, do not buy them. And even worse, don't steal them from Google, please. Keep the focus on the actual work, not on the portfolio. Make your site really intuitive and easy to navigate. I don't want to be kind of like going into your portfolio and just finding like, where should I click? So that's unnecessary. Pretty much make it easy to navigate, make it easy. Don't lose my time or anybody's like time, kind of like having 3 clicks to get there. Label each project with the type of content that it's having. Create categories that make sense to your work. How you're organizing that is really important. Don't organize the project by, okay, brochures, and then you have like 10 brochures. Then social media, and then you have in social media. Maybe a better way to approach it by the type of work that you are having, the type of campaign that you're having. Use hierarchy in your portfolios. It's really important because sometimes like we cannot just like find the information because everything kind of like looks the same. So it's really important you have titles, subtitles, and everything in between that's make it like interesting. And do not use like 20,000 small pictures. It's better if you use like one big picture instead of like 2 or 3 small ones. Keep it fresh and update it at least once a year. It's really important that you update your portfolio, not only for the Google search, it's just so people can see that you're just like growing. They're not set rule for a portfolio. Nobody has like a definite opinion, and everyone will have a different opinion about your work and your portfolio. Remember, it's not about an opinion about you, it's about your portfolio. Always take the advice that makes sense to you and just let it go. There is no right way, right or wrong way to build a portfolio. It's just follow your gut, read about the industry, get a couple of like opinions, and then take it from there. It is, I know it's easier like say than done, pretty much, but you have to always kind of like check for spelling and grammar. Absolutely no Comic Sans, no Herculano, no crazy typefaces. No, you can just have like other typeface than Helvetica, but no this crazy typeface that you shouldn't be using. And if you don't know what to use, always like Google it up. You have a lot of like blogs online talking about like what you should and what you shouldn't. Create a consistent design. If you're kind of like having everything to click on the right, or if you're having the picture on the right and then the description on the left, try to be consistent because people don't have a lot of time. And when you change the dynamic, they get lost. And it takes like extra time for the brain to process all that. Keep it pleasant, modern, aesthetic, pretty much. You have to include your personality, but still people have to be able to navigate easily. If you have a lot of like awards, include some of them, but do not brag, because who wants to be hiring someone that is just bragging in the portfolio? You just stay in there, but just don't be sure that you're not overwhelming the viewer. At the same time, do not understate your work. If you're good, if and even if you're not, if you're like building yourself as a great creative, just like show your value, show it in there, show what you have been done. The different steps on the portfolio. And you might say, oh, I cannot read the last four. That's the reason for that. Most people just got to the first step. If your portfolio make it to the last one, you're a lucky person. So your portfolio is really working. The different steps is like people open the site, they browse a few pieces of work, and they leave. So whatever they see, they love what they see, they're gonna go and look about you, and they're gonna kind of take a look at more about your work, and then they're gonna look about your skills. And then if they really love your portfolio, that's your ultimate goal. They're gonna share with someone. They're gonna share it with HR. They're gonna share it with like the creative director. They're gonna share it with like the people in the company. That's your ultimate goal, so people know about you. But this is it's really really hard to pass just the second step. So you have to be careful in your portfolio and having everything working for you, so they actually made it to the last step. Focus on your portfolio. Do not procrastinate. Say no to friends, parties, games, and whatever is in between. You have to dedicate some serious time to your portfolio over and over and over. And the reason is, if you don't dedicate time to your portfolio, you might be without a job 1 year after graduation, or you might be working in something that you don't like until you actually build your portfolio in a better way. Be sure that you are dedicating enough time to your portfolio now that you're a student, now that you have the time. And if you're not a student, just like dedicate time to your portfolio. Use the weekends. Use something to build your portfolio. Still some time from the gym, whatever you're doing. Just focus on that and work hardly and diligently in your portfolio. So pretty much you have a good portfolio and you can just like change careers, change your job, and just move on. Even whatever, if you only want to go to grad school, you still will need a portfolio. So work on that so you can accomplish your dreams. Even with everything that I have been telling you so far, it's gonna be okay because it's pretty much a working process. Uh, what's the worst thing that can happen? Your site is password protected. So even this morning, I have one of the reviewer emailing me that someone has a password protected website, and he was supposed to be reviewing that person's website. So you have to be sure that your site is public, that it's not private. The image or the videos are still spinning because what? Remember what I said before? You didn't optimize those images, so it's still spinning, and then the viewer just like close because it's taking too long. Your site was hacked, and now shows a lot of like Russian beauties, all that together. Or you forgot to pay your site and it's not active, so when you send the link, they cannot access the site either. Or when you're going in, you're already in the place, you're in the interview, there's no internet access. Yes, it's, I don't know, they have a bad reception in there, and but you don't have an offline copy. So you have to be sure that you have an offline copy that you can share when you're going to the interviews. Your battery is dead and you don't have a charger. Always, always, always keep a charger like handy. Your keyboard kind of like proof that you have pets or you have a great appetite. You might have cat's hair, dog's hair, coffee spills, breadcrumbs. Be sure that you clean your computer or your devices when you're going to an interview. It's not nice to have like that. But anyway, your portfolio is never really finished because it's a working process that you are going to have if you keep working in this field. So you're gonna be kind of like updating your portfolio. Remember, at least once a year, and every kind of like new campaign, you're gonna put it in there, and it's never really finished. It's like it's gonna be part of your life from now on. So thank you all. And if you have any question, I'm take that.